Okay guys, welcome back to League Winners. Today is part 2 of this two-part video series in which I will be going over my top 24 running back rankings. So in part 1, if you haven't seen it already, I go over who I have ranked from 25 to 12, and today I will be going over who I have ranked 11 to 1. So let's get into it. Okay, so at number 11, I have Jahmyr Gibbs. I am super high on Jahmyr Gibbs this season. I love his passing down upside. I think he's going to get a lot of receptions. I think they're going to use him a lot. And I'd love to have him as my RB2 if I can get him in like a Chubb or a Saquon early, then I would be so happy. But if you do land him as your RB1, I think you're doing pretty good as well. As you look at my rankings, he's got a ton of green flags. Super optimistic about his season. I think he can have a similar season as to what Alvin Kamara had in his rookie year, which I think was a top 12 finish. So yeah, I love Jahmyr Gibbs this year. At number 10, I have Ramondre Stevenson. I picked this guy in the 8th round in my home league last year, and he just was a steal. But this year, I am kind of expecting some regression in his passing down work just with the new offensive coordinator coming in. I don't think they're going to be checking down as often as they did last year. And I can see a scenario where they do use a lot more backs than what they used last year. I think at this time, Leonard Fournette has been working out there. I think there's talks of Ezekiel Elliott potentially signing there. So I'd be happy with having him as like a low end RB1, but I don't think he's going to have the year, at least when it comes to receptions, as what he had last year. At number 10, I have, we just did 10. At number 9, I have Tony Pollard. Again, if you look at my rankings, there's a ton of green flags here with Ezekiel Elliott now gone. He is going to be the main guy there. He basically just does it all. Like, he's still young, he catches passes, he's explosive. He should see a ton of goal line work, ton of opportunities there. So I'd be happy with having Tony Pollard as my RB1. If I look at Tony, he kind of reminds me of like a cheaper version of Austin Eckler. At number 8, I have King Henry. Although he's getting up there in age, he hasn't really showed any signs of slowing down. I think last year in PPR he finished as like the running back 4, which is just crazy considering the team he's on. I like the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. It adds another weapon to that offense, so they're not going to be focusing on Henry all the time. So I like that addition. I think that helps his fantasy upside. I'd be happy with having him as my RB1. At number 7 right now, I have Josh Jacobs. I hope he signs. I don't think he's going to have quite the year he did last year. They just ran him into the ground last year, so I think his volume does tick down from what it was last year. But I do think he'll still be good if he is signed and playing. So I'd be happy with having him as my RB1. Jonathan Taylor, again, another sticky situation. Same with Josh Jacobs, but hopefully Taylor signs or maybe he gets traded to another team. I don't know. It's a weird situation right now. This is where I have him ranked at the moment. As we get closer to the start of the season and he's still not signed and their whole situation is still undealt with, I'll probably move him down. But when he's healthy and when he's playing, like, he's such a good runner and he does catch a few passes too. So if he's signed and playing, I'm happy with having him as my RB1. At number 5, I have Bijan Robinson. So again, looking at my rankings, he's got a lot of green flags. He should get a ton of work, a ton of volume. He should see a lot of passing down upside as well. Hopefully he has a similar year as to what Saquon did in his rookie year. But yeah, happy with having him as my RB1. At number 4, I'm a bit higher in consensus than most. I have Nick Chubb. I think this is going to be Nick Chubb's best year in football, best year in fantasy. With Kareem Hunt now gone, I see him just taking over every aspect of this backfield. I see him catching more passes, and he means business. When you just watch him and watch his interviews, he's ready to go. So I think this will be like his last elite year. I would love to have him on all my teams, but yeah, super optimistic about Nick Chubb. At number 3, I have Saquon Barkley. So I love that he signed. It kind of shows everyone that he's down to play. He wants to be a part of this team. And, now that he's fully healthy, he should just be the main weapon in this offense as we expect. He catches a lot of passes, he's explosive. Totally happy with having him as my RB1. At number 2, I have Austin Eckler. So with Kellen Moore coming over as their new offensive coordinator, I see this being a very high tempo offense. I think Justin Herbert bounces back in a huge way. Although Austin Eckler is getting up there in age, he still should see a ton of volume, a ton of work around the goal line. He should be used a lot in the passing game, just like he always has been. So happy with having him as my RB1. And at number 1, I have CMC. What more can you say about this guy? When he's healthy and when he's playing, he's literally like the best fantasy player there is. So hopefully all goes well with him this year when it comes to health. He was fully healthy last year, which is awesome. Hopefully we see another year of that. And yeah, that wraps up my rankings here. So like I said, if you haven't seen part 1 where I go over who I have ranked from 25 to 12, be sure to check that out. And if you have any questions about my rankings, feel free to leave a comment down below. I would love to discuss that with you. I know there's a lot going on here. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. And as always, I will see you in the next video.